Hello, this is Lord of War 2006, and now this is my Dagger S frame, which I pretty much made into a Dagger 17. And why is it a 17? Well, because it has a brownells LS slide. Now I did have a little confusion in how to do this slide. I basically went down the Matrix rabbit hole because basically I didn't even intend to really build this. I bought a bunch of slides when they were on sale at brownells.com, like always. They were having a good sale, and there some of them were like 99, 79, bunch of different prices. So I bought like three or four, maybe five of them. I really can't remember, but I bought random ones, different ones that I know I could complete with a PSA slide or a PSA frame or a frame that I could necessarily get from the Glock store. I mean, they don't carry all frames necessarily, so I had to watch out what slides I could buy. And I almost messed up with this one. I almost returned it because I couldn't figure out a barrel. And basically, the barrel is proprietary to this slide that Brownells had. Was the LS barrel, and it had an LS slide. So I went around. I talked to Brownells customer service. Really didn't get back much. I told them I was gonna send it back. They sent me a thing, to send it back, and then I had second thoughts. I was like, man, there's got to be a way for me to work this slide out because I really wanted to keep it because I literally gave like 99 bucks for it or something, and that's a pretty good deal. It has like the Gen 5 cuts. I think that's what Gen it was, and they're deep. They feel good. The coating feels good on their slides. I really like them, and I topped it off with some Aim Surplus sights. These are all pretty much budget guns, and then the PSA full size was just one of the frames that I got that I ended up liking, and this size was like, yeah, it'll work with it. So I went ahead and put it on there. So the barrel that I ended up figuring out and going down a matrix hole and finding out what will work is a 17 barrel. However, you got to remember this is a 19 um, frame here. So a 17 Gen 3 barrel will not work with a 19 at all. I tried it. I jammed that shit up, and I mean, it did not want to come off of this frame. I thought for sure I was gonna have to cut my slide or something. I wasn't gonna cut the frame, but I ended up wiggling off, get some lube, put it in there, and eventually getting it off. And it was a pain, a really pain. So, like I said, this is a Gen 5 barrel. The Gen 5 barrels were cut for Gen 319 Lux. I know it's a little confusing, but that's how I got it to function and cycle like that, and everything works. So I'll show you the inside of this real quick. We can compare a normal 17 and a 19 to this slide to show you kind of what the differences are. So I'll go ahead and take this one apart real quick, and then I probably should have waited, but I'll show you at the end. Alright, so there's that one. I'm going to get the 17, and then I'll get the 19, and I'll put them on the front and rear. Alright, that is the 17. And I'll get a 19. Alright, here's the 19. Now here are your differences. You obviously lengthen the slide. You can see it right here. This one's got a threaded barrel, but the length in the slides of the 17 and the LS are pretty similar. Now the 19 is shorter, but the LS and the 19 have the same recoil spring. The 17 has a different recoil spring. Now these two are both Gen 3 barrel cuts. Even though this is a Gen 5 17 barrel, it's still the same cut as this 19 Gen 3. However, the Gen 3 17 has a completely different cut than both of these. So if you try to get a Gen 3 17 and put it in this LS slide, it will not function. Obviously, the recoil springs are the same for the LS 19 because it's a 19 just long slide as the 19. But the recoil spring in the 17 is different from those two, obviously. Now, the difference between the LS and the 19, obviously you got this little piece in here because the slide itself extends, and we extended the barrel too because it's the 17 barrel. Now the barrel in this LS17. I mean LS19. I'm confusing myself, but LS19 is just an aim surplus barrel. They kind of crown them. I was a little worried about the poking out a little bit, but I think it looks really good with their aim surplus barrel because the way that they bevel their barrels, it looks really good. Doesn't poke out. Like, it looks really good. I was really surprised when I got that barrel. And their barrels are pretty cheap. They're probably like, I think they're under 60 bucks, especially for one like this. It doesn't have any of the fancy bells and whistles. It's just like a stainless steel. And then it's got a stainless steel rod. But that rod was literally probably a PSA rod. And then I put a aim surplus part kit in here, the upper parts kit. And then obviously their aim surplus sights. So this is still pretty much budget friendly. And I think the most expensive piece was probably the slide itself. But we can get this back on there. Hopefully it'll go on a little easy, because sometimes it likes to give me problems. Oh, that time it went right on. Alright, pretty nice. Now we'll compare size, you know, the size wise for the 17 and the 19, and then this LS with a S frame. Basically this is like a 19X frame, pretty much. But that's all PSA. PSA doesn't make a 17 frame. They make a regular dagger, a micro dagger, and then this dagger S. So here's a 17, a regular size 17. And I mean, it's pretty much, the 17 itself is a little longer because it's an actual Glock OME frame. It's a little longer than the dagger, but that might just because of the way they redesigned it, or that's the way the X is supposed to be. I really don't know. I don't have a Glock X. But yeah, you can see definitely size-wise with the 17, it's damn near neck and neck. Like, it's pretty much a 17 with just different ergos in the grip. Alright, put the 17 aside. We'll put this 19 back together, and we'll look at that. Alright, here's a 19. Size wise, you can see it's a lot shorter, but length is pretty much the same size if you were to have a threaded barrel. And then the grips are different. Now if you want to see something really different, this will also fit, because obviously this is just a 19 slide. Alright, so let's take this 19 frame. We'll put this LS slide on the 19, and you can kind of get a cool look at that. There's the 19 with the 19 with the 17 mag and the LS. I only had the 17 mag next to me, so sorry. But yeah, that's a little different too. It doesn't feel real front heavy. It might look like it, but it really doesn't. It doesn't feel real front heavy. I'm kind of wondering what this would feel like to shoot, because it's just basically a longer slide. The recoil and all that's the same as the 19, and that might be a little snappier than versus just doing a normal 17, because your recoil spring's a little longer. Plus I'm doing ported up barrel on the 17, so this still might be a little smoother than the LS. I really don't know. I'll see when I get there. I just thought that was kind of cool, and messing around with some of my handguns, and just that's the cool thing about these frames, especially with the PSA and all their sales and all that. You can mix and match and do all kinds of stuff, especially with the Glock stuff. Well, this is Lord of War 2006. You got any questions? I'll try to answer. Hope you liked the video. Please thumbs up. Have a nice day.